Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is Jaylee's Corner, honey, and another piece of the story that I just find interesting because I'm here in Detroit, so I'm like, you know what happened here, so I gotta talk about it. But I hope everybody is having a whole what's today, Tuesday, a great Tuesday and stuff. Okay, I am around here trying to get y'all content and things. Okay, but hello to everyone who was watching the live chat. Also, hello to those who will be watching the replay of it all because you are both appreciated. Can't wait. Ready for this? I really want to know the deal because when it was announced on the radio, they sure said his name first. I'm thinking she didn't know. They both are from the same thing. Okay, hello. Okay, all these things. Okay, hey to everyone. Okay, hey to everyone. Popping in. Like, y'all know the first 5 minutes. Okay, is always us just saying hello to everybody. You saying say good evening. Okay, ciao. You know what I'm saying? Hey, mom. But hi. Yep, just in time for an afternoon walk and gossip. Okay. Hey. I've been waiting here for Lunell or some more or Monique. Look, that you know, I can completely agree because you kind of want to hear from other people who were also a part of another female comedian. Another female comedian is what I would say. Because you're like, what's going on? What happened? What can we say? Now, I want to show a couple of things. I meant to save stuff and upload it correctly, but I didn't do that. So I'm going to share my screen with y'all once we get into things around here, okay? But we all know how this has basically dominated the news recently, okay? Because it wasn't much going on, and all of a sudden, the Love and Marriage Huntsville stuff happened. Then the whole Rickey Smiley and not girl, the whole deal Hughley and Monique situation happened, and now we have chimed in information from Rickey Smiley and also Lunell, who are both completely veterans in this game. Okay, now I want to remind y'all to make sure to subscribe to my channel. Okay, subscribe to my channel, become a whole JayBird, dot, and dot. Okay, y'all know to follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner on IG and also on Twitter. And y'all don't subscribe and share and like and always comment in the comment section because this is a conversation between me, y'all, and them. Who is them? The people we talking about. Okay. So be active in the chat, be an active subscriber, which means watch the content, have conversations, and all of that. Okay. But again, hang to everyone popping in. Y'all in the first 5 minutes, we just wait. YouTube sometimes be late, letting folks know, and then people come in. What we talking about? What happened? Because they late. Okay, so I get the first 5 minutes for everyone to be around here. Okay. Oh, I'm done. Hey, I'm like, I forgot. Yes, I'm here. Hello to everyone in the chat. Okay. No, you didn't miss it. You didn't miss it. Okay. At all. Now we have a couple of clips to watch today because Rickey Smiley went, talked about it in his car while driving. He then had a separate conversation on his radio show with him, Lunell, and another comedian whose name I can't remember right now, but they say his name on the show. Okay, so yes, okay. Hello, okay. Hey fam, I have been working this weekend. Okay, I have been completely working this weekend. DL posted a thing, did he? Cause you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going, cause if he has a video, we're gonna have. And y'all know I hate. I can't. I don't want to. I don't see no video he posted on this thing. I don't know. On his page, I see what he had yesterday from 21 hours ago, and I do see something today, but that is not about what we here talking about. They talking about some other stuff that I'm not gonna get into. So y'all don't see any new video he posted on his page. Now, if he posted it on his show, I know he on his YouTube. Dang, I don't be playing about you. I don't, I have to get that together. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like just taking stuff from his stuff. Let me go to his YouTube, honey, while we waiting for. Ooh. See it? What you see? What happened? The sound get the playing. Okay. Ooh, some. Was that a gnat? Lord Jesus, I'm scared. Since I have my doors open. I'm trying to see. I'm on this page. Not the GED section. Girl. Not the GED section. Dang, I can't, because I don't know what to say. And I don't like, just taking stuff, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's music on it. That's the hard part. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second to listen to it for a few seconds, and I'm gonna come right back. So go ahead and like the video, okay? Okay, I'm back. So it do look like I don't hear no music on it, but I still don't want to get no copyright. Okay, so what I may have to do, because this is more about Rickey Smiley and Luenell's conversation, after I'm done with this live, I would have to watch his to see if I can put it up, because I ain't trying to get a copyright strike. Okay, you have to be sure that you're not copyrighting people's stuff, so I gotta wait. So I may have to just do a whole other live for us to watch what he said, because I'm not going to play something on here that I ain't watch myself first, because I'm not going to get myself set up, for the okie doke, okay? But I do see what he posted on the YouTube. I see that, but I have to again go back around there and see what it's about. However, let's stick to at least, I know that, but because it's on his actual YouTube channel, which he monetizes, I don't want to share it, and then while I'm sharing it, I'm getting copyright strike because I'm playing something from somebody else's YouTube channel. So we have to see. Okay. I don't know. Ma, can you watch it and then text me and tell me if it's anything like, I'm saying, if any music is played or that kind of stuff, and let me know. Then by the time I'm done with these people's stuff, I can then say if I'm gonna add that. Because I'm not, I ain't playing them games. But let's get into what we came here to get into. And this one was really about, Rickey Smiley and Lunell responding to what happens. I could have a whole separate live for the DL situation, because again, I don't want to be playing stuff that I know was said. Okay. But we're gonna leave it at that. Okay, Mama, thank you. I'm saying, so if Mama come back and say, because I see the video on his page is less than 8 minutes. So that's fine. But again, I haven't watched it yet. So I don't know what he's saying. I don't know, so I ain't trying to get held live. Okay. So we're going to leave it at that. Anyway, so this weekend, we know a whole bunch of foolishness happened in Detroit with DL, Hughley, and Monique. And people did not know what was going on. And they went back and forth. Now, what I want to show is the person who hosted it. Okay. His name was Josh Adams. I reached out to him to try to see if he can come on to give an opinion on what happened. He has not reached back out to me just yet, okay? But on his page, on his IG page, we can see the promotion of stuff, okay? We can see the promotion of the show. So I want to show y'all that, because I know some folk were saying, Monique had the right to be upset. Monique was probably played. And my whole thing was saying, like, well, how was the show, promoted? Okay, we see this part of the whole flyer DL and Monique. Okay, we then see
Starring your king of comedy, Hughley.
I was touring in Europe, and so walking through the chicken place, the manager runs from behind the counter. He goes, "I couldn't get tickets to your show, but I knew you would come."
She's back. Monique. Beautiful white sister sitting here, and if every time you hear me say you feel it in your spirit, say it too, you better not. Plus, Ada Rodriguez.
I'm supporting.
So again, we see even how they were promoting the show was more of them promoting DL starring DL, okay? Even we see the marquee, okay? Because Josh was posting this because he was also going to be hosting it. But see the marquee from far away? Okay, see the marquee from close up, okay? DL Hughley and Monique. But the fact that his face is more prevalent than hers make me feel like the promotion of it, again, it did kind of have him as the headliner. That's the marquee at the Fox, okay? And as I brought up, the Fox is a huge, theater. It's not nothing small or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. I also want to show, okay, Showtime, May 28th, okay? Comedy Explosion starring DL, Monique, Ada, and hosted by Josh Adams. Again, his name was first in everything, okay? And typically, if you are the headliner, your name should be first. Okay. But I feel like no one is kind of, agreeing or seeing that point of view. I want to be sure that was the only thing he had posted about that one. So again, the promotion of it all. Again, Josh was the one who, was hosting. I also want to go into play a video I have added in. Is a short clip of them at the thing, but what happened when Monique first started, when she ended, Josh coming on, and kind of see how it was crazy all up and through. Okay, so watch this.
Let me say it again. The headliner. That's what the motherfucking contract says. Monique is to be the last motherfucking person on the goddamn stage. She is the headliner. That's what I signed the fuck up for. I'm 30 plus years in this motherfucking business, and I don't open for no goddamn body. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. But a nigga named D.L. Hughley turned into a bitch and said, I won't perform if she does that. I won't go out if she does that. Nigga, you open for the kings of comedy. I close for the queens of comedy, nigga. Detroit, my name is Monique. I love y'all, baby. Show!
Keep it going for Monique. The fuck I walk into? I swear, this is my first little show. I'm about to be at the Fox, and this shit turned into the Source Awards, nigga. I'm scared as a motherfucker. Oh, y'all ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg? I know where I'm at. If you want to be on the show with a headliner, ain't supposed to be the headliner. And y'all just egged it on. Go ahead! Y'all ain't shit. This ain't for, I ain't about no suit for this. Give it up one more time for Monique. Yeah, shit. It wasn't this smoky up here before. She brought all the motherfucking smoke. Niggas come to Detroit, but what do we bring out of people, nigga? What do we do? This, the melee at the palace, what do we do? What do we bring out, nigga? Is it the Faygo? Is it the juice? Is it the pop? But let's do it. Let's see what part 2 gonna look like. In this corner, standing 5'5", coming to the stage, man, got a radio show, one of the kings of comedy, man. Y'all all know what it is. Detroit, clap y'all motherfucking hands and show love. Clap y'all motherfucking hands and show love. And give it up right now for DL Hughley!
So DL came out on stage and everything, but again, at that point, I thought the damage had been done. Okay, but as I showed y'all, the promotion for the show looked like him as the headliner. Everything had his name first, all the promotion. So again, even when he brought up how the ticket stubs had, his name first, it kind of backed up his point in. I wasn't confused. But again, it is the promoters who did things. Okay, but let's get into the Rickey Smiley conversation of it all. So Rickey Smiley at first was driving around, okay, having a conversation and just talking about what's going on or whatever. So let's get into that because I feel like, anybody who is a veteran comedian in this game or whatever, and also those who know both Monique and know Rickey Smiley, and know D.L. Hughley, I want to hear what they have to say because we don't know nothing. Because we not comedians, we don't in that game. However, hearing from other folks or whatever, let's see. Okay, so let's listen up.
Now, this is a sad day in stand-up comedy. A sad day. You had a whole incident with Chris Rock and Will Smith, and now you have the issues with Monique and D.L. Hughley. It's a sad day in comedy. This new beef is hurtful personally because you're talking about somebody that I started out with versus somebody that that mentored me, that I'm mentored by. One of my mentors is somebody I started out with, slept in a house, And I think for me is, man, I'm just trying to get my money and go home. Even if the itinerary said, Rickey, you're going last, if there's an issue, then, whatever it takes to resolve the issue, whatever makes you feel comfortable, that's what it'll be. I'll tell you a personal story. Sometimes, man, we get backstage. I've been backstage and there was a mix-up on the order or whatever with Bruce, and there was no beef. I just walked in the dress and said, Bruce, what you want to do? He said, man, I'm going to go ahead and go up first because I don't want to be here all night, get mine out the way. I said, fine. And that's the end of it. And to this day, we like this. Even though the itinerary say this the way it is, or whatever, if any comedian feel like I don't like the order, well, what would it take? What would it take to make you comfortable? Well, I just need to go ahead and I just want to go first, or I want to go second, or I want to go third, or I want to go last. Okay, that's fine. Well, you go last, and what I do, I'll host, because the check is the same.
So, I feel like what he's saying is there were different things, different ways to handle things. For one, even him bringing up the conversation with him and other comedians may want to go first, last, or whatever. And he like, I don't care. If my check is the same, do I really care? Then I'm going first, last, or whatever. If my money the same, does it matter? Okay. I want to highlight some of y'all comments and see what y'all had to say. Let me go back up. Wait, let me remove that so I can see. I think because of comedy that they were all headliners, but Bernie was the closer and great one at that. I agree. They also they're too old to be doing all of this. Right? What was all that? She's her own tour. That's the issue. I said the last time, I'm like, Monique, do your own thing, do your own tour, and then go from there. Okay. It was. If she was promised all those things, why didn't they give it to her? How is that DL's fault or his problem? I agree. Just want to scroll down a little bit. Hi, this is Lunell on Friday. She's awesome. DL has constantly been coming from Monique, and she released her frustration. What's that? Is no one speaking on how funny she was. She should have came out and killed it, no matter what her order was. I agree, and I think people get confused about anyone not wanting her to speak up for herself. It's like, no, but how she handled it and who she went at, I think that's been the main issue most folks have had about what happened. Hey, everyone, it looks like Mo needed us to speak with the promoter. If her contract says something totally different, this is unfortunate. I agree. It looks like the audience thought she was funny. She was. I think that wasn't the issue at all. Okay, I'm gonna play the deal live towards the end of this. My mom said it was okay. And I think it wasn't even about if she was funny or not. It's about how the situation was handled. Because when you go on stage and you go off on someone else who was going on after you, it's like, well, damn, why you do that? Why that happened? So even though people found her funny, there, which is great, that's fine. But what they were saying, but was that the way to handle it? Because now no one is speaking about how funny you are. No one. There was 1,000 ways to handle it. Mo picked the worst one. If the money was right, nothing left to fight about. I've done a whole 50+ week and the paychecks bounced. We didn't pull a Monique. Again, she finally released her first. Okay, we're not going to be doing it. I was wondering if the headliner gets paid more and that may be part of the issue. Honey, we don't know, okay? But let's get back into Rickey's conversation.
The check ain't changing. Sometimes, I done sucked it up and said, hey man, I'll just host the show. Now that's a harder job for me because I got to go up first, then go up second. Then bring on the first act, then go back up, bring on the next act, then go back up, bring on the third act, and then go back up to close the show, right? So that's more time on stage. But sometimes you have to make that sacrifice in order to make sure all the comedians are comfortable, all the comedians are happy, and more importantly, make sure the audience have a good time, because the audience ain't gonna have a good time if any of the comedians are unhappy and they're not comfortable. The comedians are not comfortable, they're not gonna give their best performance. I don't have shit to prove. I've been doing comedy 32 years. I don't have anything else to prove.
I want to comment on this. Hey, Kenya, the incident has garnered some of the attention. They could have capitalized off of this. Instead, they canceled the remaining shows. They both fumbled the bag. While I kind of agree with that, I also feel like sometimes fumbling the bag is about keeping your peace. And if the person I was supposed to be working with went on stage before me and kind of made the audience maybe feel a kind of way about me, I don't want to work with you. I can book more shows with another comedian, just not with you. So I think they probably canceled their dates together, but they both hopefully will be able to book their own tour with whoever else and then still go to some dates or whatever. But I'm a firm believer in, if we have beef and you do something publicly to me, I'm not going to keep working with you just because I want to make the money. I need my peace. And before I have to cuss your ass out and disrespect you, let me let you go over there. Let me let that be. And then, that's all I have to do, because anything else is uncivilized, truth be told. So I do think that, if it wasn't so, if it was a behind the scenes situation that they had, okay, they could have kept going. I think it could have been because it was made public, for one. They both probably pissed off at this point, for two. And I'm like, but y'all pissed off, it should be at the promoters. But I kind of understand the reason why. I'm gonna play the video. So it's okay. I'm gonna play the video because I can't read the full text. So I'm doing this. But what was I just saying? Anyway, I feel like, what I'm saying, the bag wasn't really fumbled per se, okay? But I'm like, I don't want to work with you if there's BS going on. And again, if it was some behind the stage bullshit that went on, or that, I would have maybe still kept going. But I'm like, no, you went on before me and kind of, in my opinion, turned the crowd against me. And that's what I don't think people should ever do, okay? But let's keep listening.
I don't have to go last. And I don't give a shit if I go second, and I don't care if I go first. I don't care if I go on stage and people still walking in, getting their seats. Because guess what? For the people that didn't get to see me perform, guess what? That means I can come back in 4 months and close a show at a local comedy club, or come back in 6 months and shut that shit down and sell it out and do it the way I would like to do it. If I felt like I didn't get my rocks off in whatever city it is, right? Sometimes, man, it just comes down to common sense, common courtesy. What do I have to do or sacrifice to keep down confusion and beef? We don't want to give the art of stand-up comedy a bad name. You just want to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? You want to do the right thing and to make sure that the audience have the best experience that they can have. And sometimes you have to take the bullet and say, okay, let me make sure this is all good. Whatever okay, you want to go last? Okay, go ahead. I don't care. Now, let me say this. There have been times when I've done comedy shows with certain people that have a huge ass freaking ego and just kind of mean spirited. Like me and Bruce, or me and D. Ray Davis, or me and Michael Blackson. We sit down and say, okay, all right, okay, cool, fine, we work it out, right? Every now and then you get an asshole, and it's probably once every few years. So now I'm going last. I just did a such and such show, and I got a TV. So, all right. And he just been a jerk all night, complaining, making the whole situation hard. And then what I do, I just go up in front of him and I just tear that shit up. I give him that damn work. You sure you want to follow me? Cause if I ain't shit else, if I ain't nothing else, I'm funny and I'm a hellified performer. I can perform. I come from theater. I have music mixed in my show. I'm funny as hell. I'm silly. I'm bringing a whole kind of vibe. Cause I can, you know, but I'm not trying to be respectful or whatever, you know. So I hate that it happened, and it's unfortunate. And you know, DL, and sometimes this stuff is just too personal and too nasty.
So I'm back. I had to download the DL video, so we'll be watching that in 1 second. Okay. However, what I will say is, I agree with Rickey Smiley that there's always a way to handle things, and also how, you know, the whole mean-spirited part of it. I kept saying that, you know, I'm all for someone speaking up for themselves or being pissed off and going off on how they feel or whatever. But you keep doing that, it does make it look some kind of way for one. And not only that, it also makes people feel like you may be the issue, even when you're not the issue. And if you go to work, do your job, and leave, say, for all them other people, it looks better on you, because it's not as if nobody is saying, oh, well, Monique keeps having these issues where other people put in situations she has to react. It's like she gets put in these situations, and the issue people have is not the fact that she reacted, it's how she reacts to every situation, which seems to be that she just makes it a public situation. She doesn't really try to make it be handled behind the scenes. She goes for the jugular. And again, I'm not saying she doesn't have the right to do that, but you can't then be surprised when people feel that way about you, if it's based on what we've seen you do, is what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Child Monique said, to hell about body any bullet. She came out guns a-blazing. Yikes. I agree. Daddy's Monique's problem. A lot of people say that Monique's issue is her manager, who happens to be her husband, who she calls daddy. And again, when another comedian who has also been in the game for 30 plus years is saying how, you know, there are issues where sometimes somebody wants to go first, someone wants to go last. Who cares if as long as my check is the same? I'm not gonna make it an issue. Whatever's the most for everyone, it's not a big issue for me. Okay, but that could be how he feels and not how Monique feels. Let's say that. Okay. Yes, that's how you do it, Ricky. I didn't know he had to go on after Monique said that. Yes. So after she was the first one up, you know, between him and her. So after she did that set, he then had to come on and do his set. That's why I showed the video of, her ending the show and then the guy who was hosting, Josh Adams, in between and saying, well, shit, what I walk in on? Like, what's going on around here? Because what happens is, am I still uploading this? I thought I was uploading something. They uploaded nothing. So I put my phone down. But the thing of her realizing, and my thing is this, you went off about DL, and then after you did that, the audience probably did feel some kind of way because you're telling them he's a POS. You're telling them that he betrayed you in some kind of way. You're telling them how you feel in the situation, and so all they then have is your side of things. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for airdrop, y'all. Thank God for airdrop. So after she went off, they clap for her. When he came out and I seen the dude, I said, okay, y'all clapping up for DL. At that point, he didn't rip that man for 10-15 minutes. The crowd gonna feel away, and so you now taking a personal situation that happened between you and and him, and now made that a public situation to the people who are there to see you both. People gonna feel some kind of way. Period. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a way to handle things. Okay. I'm sure she says out more than not in her long career. If not now, when? I don't know what that means, but okay. Go on, okay, do your set and let your comedy speak for itself. Because I don't think anyone in the crowd complained about not being entertained, but I think the reaction that people are getting that we're talking about is how things can be handled. Because after that happened at the show, where they had the whole IG situation, whatever, and contact and all that, I'm like, girl, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Awards these days don't mean anything. It's about popularity and drawing in dollars. Kevin Hart doesn't have an Oscar, but if they tour together, Kevin will get last due to his popularity, and that's true. And that's the thing. So what Kevin hasn't even been doing comedy as long as Monique, but more people will come pay for a Kevin Hart show probably than a Monique show, and that does not mean the Monique isn't funny. But some folk are more popular than others. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep listening to Rickey Smiley because he knows more than we know. Let's keep listening to him.
Me personally, I don't think that I ever would have said or mentioned DL's wife's name. Because the thing about it is, if you're gonna crack jokes, that's fine. But man, if it's more hurtful and offensive than it is funny, should you say that? Because if I'm gonna talk about somebody, if I'm gonna talk about Bruce, if I'm gonna talk about D-Ray Davis has a daughter. Bruce got kids. If me and Bruce beef, and I'm just using Bruce for example, because Bruce, Earthquake, two of my best friends. You know what I'm saying? I have a relationship with Bruce's son. That's my nephew. Earthquake daughter is my niece. I held her when she was a baby. She works in the industry. I don't give a fuck how mad Earthquake make me. I'm not finna go on stage or jump on this radio and say nothing about Earthquake, no matter what. I call him or text him and cuss his ass out, because we have cussed each other out before, me and Earthquake. We brothers. That's what we do.
I want to highlight a comment that I've seen other folks saying about DL and Monique. DL spoke on Monique for over 5 years, spoke on Monique for the past 5 years, even disrespecting her husband on his radio station by asking her question about if he would have sex with a man, which we discussed yesterday. And now I'm going to reiterate this. If I know for a fact someone has been talking about me negatively for over 5 years, why would I go do a tour with them? Why would I want to go do a tour with anyone who would not only disrespect me and my husband, but I know for a fact I don't really like that person based on what he said. So for all the folks who keep putting in the comment section, but DL has said this and said that, okay, then why did Monique choose to go do a concert tour, a comedy tour with DL Hughley, who has for 5 years spoke on her? For what? For why? Because as y'all have said, Monique is, she's the head, you know what I'm saying? People be forgetting, that don't make no sense. Monique is Monique. And in my opinion, why would she have to do with someone, the one person who talks shit on her? So I don't think there was any long, drawn out shit that happened, because if it was, why would she do it? I'm not asking why would he ask her on tour. Wait. Why he asked her to join the show? Because anyone can ask you to do something because they want you around. But for me, if I know, because she said on the stage, we've had conflict, but she also said we was comrades, and she said all these things. I'm not doing business with anybody who was knowingly came at me and my people. I would have said fuck DL and this tour. Is what I would have said. If I was Monique, I would not have went on tour with DL freaking Hughley, knowing what he said about me and my husband. It would have been done deal. Because as you said, it's Monique. She's not an up-and-coming comedian. She isn't. She keeps saying how, she's headline the Queen's Comedy back in 2001. Okay. But again, let's keep playing the Rickey Smiley conversation.
Got into it about a light on, about being locked out, or a car key, because we done stayed in the same apartment together. We were roommates. Some of this stuff is just getting too personal, and it's hurtful to all of us, and it make me feel bad. I couldn't sleep last night, and it didn't even have anything to do with me, because you're talking about an older brother and a sister where we came in the industry together, and it's hurtful, and it just has really disturbed my peace. I was disturbed when the whole Chris Rock thing, because I met Chris Rock a few times, and he was nothing but kind to me, and so was Will. And it's like, damn, it's like two people that you like have it out, and it just make your nerves bad. Black Baptist Church says, our pastor's been saying for years, do all things, not some things. Do all things decent and in order. Here's another thing that we grew up learning. Govern yourselves accordingly. According to what? According to what the order is. And if the order says Rickey Smiley go first, D. Ray Davis go second, that's what the order is. And you have to respect the order. Because if it come down to it, okay, if can't nobody agree, what's on the paper? What's the order? Because you have a contract. The contract say headliner because we are headliners. Headliner, but are you headline? You can co-headline. Sometimes that it gets technical. That's a gray area. D. Ray Davis is a headliner. Martin Lawrence is a headliner. Bruce is a headliner. I'm a headliner. Right? Adele Givens is a headliner. We all headliners. But somebody got to go first. And somebody got to go second. Somebody got to go third. Somebody got to go fourth. And somebody got to host. And we're all headliners. And what we all doing, co-headlining is a verb. Because that's what we're doing. We're co-headlining. But we are headliners. But the verb comes in because we're co-headlining. That's an action. Right? And then it comes down to the promoter. that puts the itinerary on the wall, or give it to you as it's usually in your dressing room on your mirror. What's the order of the show and what's the time? If can't nobody agree on nothing, what does this say? What does that say? This is Rickey Smiley, you're going first. Then Adele Givens. Then Bruce. Then D-Ray Davis. Hey, I don't want to go first. Do anybody want to switch the order? No, Rickey Smiley, we don't want to switch the order. Well, my ass going first. And let me get this money and go home. And go give them the best first that they ever seen. It's that simple. Pray for everybody involved. And just pray that we can learn and find better ways to resolve issues. And not be so confrontational, personal, and nasty. Because that, there's no place in comedy for it.
So, that is what DL said. Hey, bestie. I so agree with this part about what he's saying about the headlining and order thing, because being in the group, my best friend is a solo artist, but also in the group. So she know about bookings and contracts and orders of shows. Okay. Because being in the group, you pretty much got to pull straws so no one feels uncomfortable. Okay. And it's weird that so many people are like not wanting to listen to people who do these things. Like Rickey Smiley is a whole comedian who also books shows and who has worked with. It's his wheelhouse. It's his wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying? And I think some people just don't realize how some things go. And no, this is the thing. Y'all can be Team Monique, but being Team Monique, but following her and her antics that don't help her isn't really being Team Monique. Team anybody should be you wanting the best for them to keep winning. You should not want your person to keep looking foolish. So y'all say team so-and-so and team so-and-so, but lo and behold, y'all team is losing because no one is saying, hey, my love, maybe don't do things that way. So that way you don't come out looking crazy. So that way after you feel slighted, no one is talking about you and what you did wrong. You can't be out. That don't make no sense to me. Some folk like Monique, some folk like DL, some folk like Rickey, some folk like Tootsie Rolls, some folk like Twizzlers. Okay? People like what they like. Hey, Rain. It's so disgusting because it's always us who champions that cheering and clapping for clown-ass behavior of us, all over the order of a comedy show. And I think that's what y'all missing. But y'all, so I'm Team Monique. Okay, cool. Be Team Monique. Support her. Speak up for her. Yes, do that. But also, you can't be Team somebody who keep reacting in a way that makes them look like the bad guy every single time. If you do not learn from your mistakes, then you are a fool. If you do not learn from your mistakes, you are a fool. Supporting someone does not mean aiding them in their foolishness. And y'all get confused about when people come on their channels and speak about what actually happened, their opinion, as if they're not team somebody. I told you, I am team JayLeesCorner. Okay? I am team JayLeesCorner. And I want to see Monique win. However, she keep making it hard to cheer for her when the way she reacts to something that was done unfairly makes her look foolish. It's my point. Yes, some folks like Reese's Cups too. Okay, people like, because I don't like Rickey Smiley. I see the comments. Okay, I see the comments. I see them, and everyone's opinion is their valid opinion. Okay, it is. Agree. Both need someone like Rickey to speak up. Both are being childish. Some may have just screwed her. Boom. Because it's a reason that Monique has said that she wasn't able to work based on what people thought of her, based on how she handled the situation, and then people speaking negatively about her behind closed doors. She was not able to work for a while. a while, Brian. You know what I'm saying? And that's unfair to Monique. Yes, fully unfair to Monique. However, if when she comes back out and she's booking shows, and then the minute something happens that she feels was unfair to her, she went and ripped the other comedian who was going to come after her to shreds at the actual show, that's fucked up, in my opinion. If you watch the 5 Heartbeats, is there a heart? Is there a heart in the house tonight? When Bird in the Midnight Falcons was performing, and the host came out saying, yeah, you know, the 5 Heartbeats, and they are better than all these folks. Boo, boo. So it's like when somebody come out and before you come on, they rag you to the audience then don't like you. Because the person before you has not said, you know, you full of shit or whatever it may be. I'm saying. So I'm like, y'all can't want to support Monique, but then allow her to keep looking foolish. Don't support me and make me look dumb. Don't do that. Don't do that. Thank you, Queen RN. I totally agree with your comments about looking. And I was at the same. Had DL went out on stage and ripped Monique to shreds about whatever happened, I was the same thing. He looked stupid. Okay? He looked stupid. Monique like contracts whenever it is the contract she will fulfill. It's extra free shit. But that's about the other stuff. Anyway, let's get into Lunell, okay, who's a female comedian who's been around for years and years and years. With Lunell and Rickey Smiley and some other guy who were speaking about what happened. Okay, let's listen to them.
Who I started out with, and DL Hughley, who is my frat brother and mentor. It's crazy because DL is my frat brother and mentor, and Monique and I have stayed at each other's house, spent the night, and started open mic night together. We're both scheduled to perform at the Fox Theater in Detroit. Now, the show took a turn when Monique came out and went off about some issues that was going on backstage, and I found the whole thing really hurtful, disturbing, embarrassing. Monique been doing comedy 32 years because we started out together, because I'm 32 years in. DL been doing it 37, 38 years. I just want to be clear on that. So what were your thoughts on the video of Monique on stage and what happened in Detroit?
To be completely honest, as I started watching it, the word "here we go again" came into my mind. I really have been pulling from Monique this whole time, and I had told everybody, I said, everybody goes down, but everybody gets up, and somebody's going to give her a job. She's going to do something incredible, and she's going to be on everybody's tongues again. And that's what I truly believed when 50 came out and said he was going to have Monique join Black Mafia family. Then Lee Daniels came with his too much, too little, too late apology only after he heard about 50 messing with Monique. Then Lee came back, double back. So I thought that everything was going to be good. Personally, I couldn't care less about this funk because it seems very ego-based to me. I have been on shows before where the order or the lineup may not have been, I thought it was ridiculous because, first of all, I dare anybody to follow me, first of all. But I have been on shows with maybe what I thought was possibly a not as experienced or lesser known comedian. And then, if it don't affect my money, I will just go out there in whatever order you put me in, smash, and let you see what you can do. But what I would say with this situation seems more promoter-based than it does, well, I'm not following her. Well, let me go first. DL came up with paperwork that said he was headlining. But then Monique came up with paperwork that said she was headlining. So the fishy work, to me, seems like it is promoter-based. Right. And that it should not have been personally based with your fellow comic.
And that is the point so many people are missing. No one is negating the fact that Monique didn't have a right to be upset. No one was like, oh, he's right and she's wrong. No, you were mad at the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? Lunell is also a female comedian, has been around for years and years and years. So I'm pretty sure some of the same things that Monique has probably had to go through, so has Lunell. They're both females in their game. Okay, and so it's like, love me soon to Lunell. She's speaking facts right now. Okay, it can be ego based. Okay, no one is saying she should be upset. Her anger is directed towards the wrong person. It's like that's what folks is missing, because some people cannot see the forest between the trees, and they ain't looking. Okay, I'm saying, and I still agree that Monique's husband is an issue. I think Monique needs someone else to handle her business affairs so that she don't even have to get involved in that shit. Okay, as long as it don't affect the money. The promoters are who. Look, I'm trying to find the promoters and someone who's backstage to come on here and shed some light, but I can't find that shit. Okay, or whatever. Lunell is intelligent and articulate. I get what she's saying, because you have to sometimes look at things from a different perspective, which does not mean that you're saying that Monique was wrong and wanting to speak up for how she felt she was wrong. It's how she did it and who she aimed her anger at. Okay, I think that's what it is. Okay, someone did her business wrong. That's what people that want to believe that high not for me though, and not for a lot of people. I don't know what that is. Like what? I want to scroll down to some other comments. Definitely her management. If the same thing keeps happening, you might need to look within. Okay. And if somebody did it on purpose to put it in her coffin, she should not have taken the bait. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the crazy part. Other comedians, Rickey Smiley, Luenell, and also the other guy I'm going to speak in a second, no one said, I would have definitely went on stage and sprayed the other person. They're all saying, I would not have went at the other comedian. My issue would have been with the promotion people. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep listening.
No, these promoters can do shady things. Sometimes they messy. They might want to pit somebody against each other. And then it did. But actually, Monique's fight is not our fight. You understand? Why involve us every time you got a problem? Because frankly, after so many problems, I'm going to speak for myself. After so many issues publicly, I'm just not interested in hearing it anymore. It's sort of like the boy who cried wolf. Now she makes a lot of good points a lot of times, but right now I'm over the anger, and the anger is so palpable that bringing us into that is like somebody watching somebody get beat across the street, and it's not really a fight. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's too much for me, and I'm not going to be involved in it, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to speak on it again except for your show, Rickey.
I love you, Luenell, and I really appreciate it. And Marvin Hunter,
hey brother, being a younger gay, it's like watching mom and dad. It's very, very unfortunate for me as a younger comic to sit here and watch this. I feel like there's a time and place for everything. And that the anger, as we never say, it might be misplaced, because as things are unfolding, it seems like it may be the promoter's issue. She has an issue with more the promoter than DL, and she made it about black women when I think it's just about ego. That's about ego. Those things tend to happen. It tends to happen when you have two people who are on top, just like. I think Lunell said, I've been in similar situations. Definitely, I'm not in that same tax bracket, but I've been in similar situations where, as long as my money right, I don't care where you put me at.
Yeah, Marvin. Coincidentally, I do a lot of shows with Bruce, and there are times where Bruce, the promoter say, "Hey, man, Bruce want to go first," or "Hey, Bruce want to close it." Like even on the Martin tour, it was some nights where I was closing the show. And when we got to California, we got to LA, the promoter was like, "Hey, Michael Blackson is closing because this is town." I'm like, I don't care. I will go first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or whatever. I'm gonna be funny as hell, Lunell, as long as it don't change my money. And then the question is it worth it? Is it worth losing that relationship? I'm not gonna fight with Michael Blackson and Bruce. Bruce is like my real brother. I literally believe that we some kin, and anything with Bruce and Lavelle Crawford, and I got a comedian that Lavelle Crawford will roast you to death, but anything with them, whatever they want to do, whatever make any comedians comfortable or whatever, there's been times where I was like, I don't want to follow that because it was just too much profanity, and I got a church act.
People keep saying, before the show he threw a hissy fit. Oakland, send me the footage. For all the folks saying he threw okay, cool. He did. Send me the proof he threw a hissy fit. We see Monique throwing her getting pissed and going on. So Oakland Barbie and all the folks in the comment section saying he did throw a hissy fit. He was going off. Okay, cool. Just send me the evidence and I will play it and we will all say he ain't shit. So can someone please send me that information? We can watch it together, please. And thank you. Thank you. I'm just wondering.
I'm not going to fight with Michael Blackson and Bruce. Bruce is like my real brother. I literally believe that we some kin, and anything with Bruce and Lavelle Crawford, and I got a comedian that Lavelle Crawford will roast you to death, but anything with them, whatever they want to do, whatever make any comedians comfortable or whatever, there's been times where I was like, I don't want to follow that because it was just too much profanity, and I got a church act. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I said, let me go first and get mine out the way because it's hard to go behind you smashing your girlfriend to how many of y'all joined the church last Sunday. Something.
Right. But now, see, being that they do have the label headliner, because, sometimes people try to do, they co-headline. They co-headline. There's only one headliner. Whoever's last, that's who headlined it. We don't know whether the money did change. That might have fueled her. We don't know that. We don't know if the money did change. And we don't know if they was getting the same, but we don't know that. And then also, just like you said, a promoter may come to you and say, hey, Bruce wants to go last. And that may not be Bruce's call at all. That might be the promoter saying that. So there's a lot of factors that go into this, and you can't get everything off of Instagram. We weren't there. We don't know. And I'm just actually not concerned with this issue.
Yeah. So again, even comedians in the game telling you, the promoters will tell you things because of their bullshit. Okay? So we're not going to act like, and again, this is not a bash Monique session or whatever, but anyone who can't see my point or the point that people are making that how she handled this, her going after DL directly was the wrong move because there was miscommunication and janky ass promoters. Monique's in her own set right before she went off on DL. How it's some fucked up promoters, but she didn't continue on going off on them, which means she also know they was on BS. Period. If y'all think folk out here don't be up here scamming and scheming for shit to make things happen, to make more money, because as I said, if you just get here, let me pull up the Instagram again, okay, to show y'all the promotion for the show clearly showed DL as the goddamn headline and opening act of the person. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen one more time before we get into DL's response to Monique that he did today. Okay, he did today. So Josh Adams, I'm gonna pop myself down so y'all can see a little bit more. Okay, Josh Adams, who was the guy who was hosting the event. Okay, not promoting, not the promoter. He was one hosting. So in between each person, say, come on, say a little thing, whatever. Give it. So again, we see the promotion for it all. Okay, DL Hughley and Monique. Okay, we see the promotion. Let's listen.
The explosion, starring your king of comedy, DL Hughley.
I was touring in Europe, and so walking through the chicken place, the manager runs from behind the counter and goes, I couldn't get tickets to your show, but I knew you would come.
She's back, Monique.
Beautiful white sister sitting here, and if every time you hear me say you feel it in your spirit, say
again, just pointing out that the promotion of the event seems like DL was the headline. Okay, let's look at the marquee of it. Okay, and again, I want to show that this was from 4 weeks ago. Not the 4 weeks. You see that 4 weeks ago at the Fox Theater. Okay, 4 weeks ago. DL and Monique, starring DL. Usually, y'all do know if someone is the headliner, their name does go first. So people's issue has been consistently that the issue is that she was mad at the wrong person. DL's thing was that I wasn't confused. I was told I was a headliner, and that's what I got. So I don't get how y'all still saying that Monique should be mad at DL Hughley. When 4 weeks ago, the Fox Theater and Promotion showed DL Hughley. Okay? Not stuff from that night. Not at the all. Okay? This was 4 days ago. This was a week ago. But again, the Fox Theater itself, a month ago, back in April, had it lined up DL, starring DL and Monique. His face is bigger than hers. If Monique was the head, if she had paperwork to show her as the headliner, why ain't she first on nothing? Her issue should be with her management and the promotion people, not DL Hughley. So I don't think that it was a plot and plan that day he was like, I'm not going to do this or whatever. I don't think that. I think it was from the promoters. And the fact, and then this was 7 weeks ago. So 7 weeks ago, still his name still first. His photo still first. So the fact that y'all won't use your mind sometimes and bypass the love that y'all have for our loving, amazing Monique, who we want to win. The fact that her team did not see all the promotion for her show, did not show her as the headliner. Her issue should be with her husband, her manager. So her anger that night should not have been in DL. It should have been fully on her manager and the punk ass promoters. That's people's point. But some folk don't want to see the forest through the trees. You just don't want to do that. But let's get into DL Hughley's response he put out today.
I work where I want to work and who I want to work for. I want to work with. I don't work because that is a very precious place to me. I've been offered a gig, a couple of gigs, 3 or 4 gigs to work with Monique in LA, in Brooklyn, in Houston, and
I know it's a bit low, so listen up, because I could not raise the volume before bringing it to y'all. Okay, so it's a bit low, so just pay attention now and listen to it real quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna let it play though. I'm gonna let it play.
Turn them down because I didn't think it would work. So after talking to a lot of people, and one of the very people in this room about how things are different, 2 of the very people in this room, as a matter of fact, and how things are different, and look at how things are coming around, I decided it would be wrong for me not to give somebody a chance based on things that they'd never done to me. That would have been wrong to me. And when she talks, she goes on her diatribe and she talks about me having my feet under her table. That was at her invitation. I was doing a gig in Greenbelt, Maryland. She lived in Baltimore. She was having a fight party. It was, I think, Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. And sure enough, I came to her table at her invitation. And it was a wonderful time. As a matter of fact, it was based on that interaction, along with talking to people, I decided that I would do these gigs. I decided I would do it. And now I know what Tyler Perry knows. I know what Lee Daniels knows. I know what Oprah knows. I know what Steve Harvey knows. I know what Charlamagne the God knows. I know what Netflix knows. Saying yes to Monique is an occupational hazard. Now, we're playing a gig in Detroit this weekend. I know I'm going on at 9:45. I leave the hotel. I get there around 9. Monique had just gotten there. She's supposed to be there at 8:40. She had just gotten there, gone at 8:40. She got there at 8:38. What Monique was trying to do was to slow walk the show. She didn't end up getting on for 30 minutes. The oldest trick in the world is, if I want to change the order and I don't have merit, I'll try to make people wait so long that everybody gets nervous and go, please just go on so we can avoid a conflict. That didn't happen. Monique got on stage. Monique actually felt like she had merit. She would have done one of three things. Either she would have took it up with the promoter, and she did, and the promoter said, we're going on, and whether you go on or not, that's a different thing. You would have not done it, but she knew she had to get on stage, or she would have been in breach of contract, or she would have come to talk to me. She didn't ever, and I emphatically emphasize this, she never once talked to me. I haven't seen Monique in years. I didn't see her at the venue before, after, or during. I haven't spoken or seen Monique. So if you really thought that you had a legitimate contract dispute, you would have come to me and said, hey, I have this contract and you had this contract. Notice not one thing on that contract, not one person she has on that contract, not one thing happened. Do you know why? Because it wasn't legitimate. And she goes on stage and she proceeds to eviscerate me. Not just me, but Steve Harvey, the sexual, my wife, my dog later on in subsequent conversation. Let me ask you something. What did any of that have to do with an alleged contract dispute? What did Steve Harvey have to do with your contract? What did I have to do with your contract? What did my dog have to do with your contract? What does my wife have to do with your contract? You wrote your contract, you and your daddy. You proceeded to say things that were so patently insulting that it was galling. It was galling. You asked in subsequent conversations why I have a dog, a support dog. What kind of person has a support dog? I have that dog because my father died. My children and family decided they would get a dog from where he was from, and I named the dog after my father. I don't have a dog to keep people away from me. I have a dog so I have my father with me all the time. That is an act of love which you know very little about. You proceeded to assault my sexuality. You have the temerity to assault someone's sexuality, a man's sexuality, given who you lay next to? None of that had any...
Because they say that Sydney, made this, like what he liked.
Anything to do with alleged contract dispute. You could have taken that up with a lawyer. You would have gotten out. You could have not gone on stage, but you knew you didn't have a valid contract. And you do what you always have done. You tried to weaponize black femininity. You tried to turn that audience against me. You tried to burn everything down. Like you do all the time. Who calls Netflix and thinks I can get $10 million because I did the Queens of Comedy? Who thinks you can get on stage and still live off that? I was a king of comedy. You never hear me talking about it because...
Girl, because I had listened to this, I was like, ooh, shot after shot. Okay. Who wants 20 million based off doing the Queens of Comedy 20 years ago? I was like, ooh. Shots fired. Girl, DL give it a show. But again, even him saying she never came and had a conversation with me. It was a contractual situation. She never came and had a conversation with me. Wait. I thought I was talking to... Let's keep listening, because I'm like, girl.
Because in this business, like any other, it isn't what you have done, it's what you do. That show was one I signed on to do. I made the quintessential mistake, the horrible mistake that like Tyler Perry, like Lee Daniels, like Oprah, like all these people of saying yes to you. And it is an occupational hazard. It is my fault. I have learned my lesson.
An occupational hazard? Oh, hurt my heart. Jesus. Oh, God. An occupational hazard to work with Monique. Damn, that says a lot. And this is the crazy part, because folks say, Monique had the right to read him. But I say, look, DL was smart. He didn't do shit on that show. He came to his own radio show and gave it to the world, Craig. To the world. Okay? And again, we wasn't backstage with them at all. But the fact that she had her rant on stage, and he's still saying here she had a contractual dispute. But that don't have shit to do with me. Let's keep listening because I want to know what else he's going to say.
You didn't just, and the thing that bothers me the most isn't the things that you said, because I know who I am and I know what I do. And I have a pristine reputation. And everybody who knows me know what I'm about. It's this whole, my dear, my babies, I love you for real, which is so transparently false, it is ridiculous. But the thing that was really the most annoying, the thing that was really the most bothersome, is after a terrible couple of weeks where people were being slain in Buffalo, where people were being slain, kids are getting slain in school, and people had come to a comedy show to get away from all of their problems, you besieged them with yours. The one contract that isn't in dispute is the one that the audience had with us to entertain them. But every single time, more and more, you spend half of your time talking about your grievances and what you didn't get and who did this to you. Listen, when you burn things up and you sit back to watch the results of them, she's literally set that stage on fire, said the most incendiary things ever, and I had to go on stage. If she has the temerity to call me a coward would have left. A coward would have said, I can't go. You didn't even want to go on when you had a contract that you knew that not to be true. You made up this whole narrative that you knew not to be true, and you played that out in front of the audience. And then I had to go on behind you. And you know what you did? You sat back and you tried to watch your damage. You set the stage on fire and you watched what you've done. You know who does that? Arsonists do that. Arsonists set shit on fire and try to see the damage it drives. But I blame myself because I know now what I didn't before. Saying yes to you is an occupational hazard.
Oh, Jesus. She's an arsonist. But she did set that fire on stage. She opened it and she really did set it on stage. Okay, we seen after she went off that Josh Adams came on and said, well, damn, the stage where these orders smoke, like what's going on? Because no one expected that. And also I want to bring up how when he said that, you know, all that's going on in the world, people pay for a comedy show to get away from other people's problems. Y'all know how I always say, you know what I'm saying? For my YouTube, I don't bring the hard news of the craziness going on in the world because y'all come here to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Because you go to some places to get away from that. And this is the thing. He was smart to not roast her on the stage. He left his show, he'd be his show. But his point still remains, I shouldn't have did it. I should have left it. I should have walked away. But let's keep listening.
I will not repeat. I don't blame you. I wish you well. But when you do the things you do, when everything's about you, when you're vitriolic, when you have all these fights with all of these entities, it is you. Precious was not a movie. Precious was an autobiography. That is who you are, literally. You mad at the contract you and daddy wrote, your daddy? And I don't know why you call a man daddy and you pay for him. That's a son. Let's be clear. I am not angry with you. I'm angry with me. I did what I knew not to be true. But I'm going to tell you something. When you burn and you destroy and you wreck, you are not a queen of comedy. You're a queen of ashes. Now, I'm going to go back to work and you get back to your kingdom of smoke.
Kingdom of smoke? Ooh. Ooh. Let me wipe. Look. She read him for filth on stage, and he has now read her for filth on his radio show. And y'all know what I always say as I clutch my invisible pearls. What's good for the goose is always good for the gander, okay? And you know, right, you know, pow, the shots fired, girl. I just can't believe it. It's just, it's crazy. You know, I almost want to rewatch it. Do y'all want to rewatch it? Do y'all want to I feel like I want to hear it again. And because he on the radio, he couldn't even cuss. Couldn't have no curse words. Right. That's not a husband. That's not a daddy. That's a son. I say, now that's a son. Now he's a son. He's a son. Okay, I'm going to replay it, y'all. And this time, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing. We're going to do it full out. Okay? Let's play.
I only work where I want to work and who I want to work for. I want to work with. I don't work because that is a very precious place to me. I've been offered a gig, a couple of gigs, 3 or 4 gigs to work with Monique in LA, in Brooklyn, in Houston, and I turned them down because I didn't think it would work. So after talking to a lot of people, and one of the very people in this room about how things are different, 2 of the very people in this room, as a matter of fact, and how things are different, and look at how things are coming around, I decided it would be wrong for me not to give somebody a chance based on things that they'd never done to me. That would have been wrong to me. And when she talks, she goes on her diatribe and she talks about me having my feet under her table. That was at her invitation. I was doing a gig in Greenbelt, Maryland. She lived in Baltimore. She was having a fight party. It was, I think, Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. And sure enough, I came to her table at her invitation. And it was a wonderful time. As a matter of fact, it was based on that interaction, along with talking to people, I decided that I would do these gigs. I decided I would do it. And now I know what Tyler Perry knows. I know what Lee Daniels knows. I know what Oprah knows. I know what Steve Harvey knows. I know what Charlamagne the God knows. I know what Necklet knows. Saying yes to Monique is an occupational hazard. Now, we're playing a gig in Detroit this weekend. I know I'm going on at 9:45. I leave the hotel. I get there around 9. Monique had just gotten there. She's supposed to be there at 8:40. She had just gotten there, gone at 8:40. She got there at 8:38. What Monique was trying to do was to slow walk the show. She didn't end up getting on for 30 minutes. The oldest trick in the world is, if I want to change the order and I don't have merit, I'll try to make people wait so long that everybody gets nervous and go, please just go on so we can avoid a conflict. That didn't happen. Monique got on stage. Monique actually felt like she had merit. She would have done 1 of 3 things. Either she would have took it up with the promoter, and she did, and the promoter said, we're going on, and whether you're going or not, that's a different thing. You would have not done it, but she knew she had to get on stage, or she would have been in breach of contract, or she would have come to talk to me. She didn't ever, and I emphatically emphasize this, she never once talked to me. I haven't seen Monique in years. I didn't see her at the venue before, after, or during. I haven't spoken or seen Monique. So if you really thought that you had a legitimate contract dispute, you would have come to me and said, hey, I have this contract and you have this contract. Notice not one thing on that contract, not one person she has on that contract, not one thing happened. Do you know why? Because it wasn't legitimate. And she goes on stage and she proceeds to eviscerate me. Not just me, but Steve Harvey, the sexual, my wife, my dog later on in subsequent conversation. Let me ask you something. What did any of that have to do with an alleged contract dispute? What did Steve Harvey have to do with your contract? What did I have to do with your contract? What did my dog have to do with your contract? What does my wife have to do with your contract? You wrote your contract, you and your daddy. You proceeded to say things that were so patently insulting that it was galling. It was galling. You asked in subsequent conversations why I have a dog, a support dog. What kind of person has a support dog? I have that dog because my father died. My children and family decided they would get a dog from where he was from, and I named the dog after my father. I don't have a dog to keep people away from me. I have a dog so I have my father with me all the time. That is an act of love which you know very little about. You proceeded to assault my sexuality. You have the temerity to assault someone's sexuality, a man's sexuality, given who you lay next to? None of that had anything to do with alleged contract dispute. You could have taken that up with a lawyer. You would have gotten out. You could have not gone on stage, but you knew you didn't have a valid contract. And you do what you always have done. You tried to weaponize black femininity. You tried to turn that audience against me. You tried to burn everything down. Like you do all the time. Who calls Netflix and thinks I can get $10 million because I did the Queens of Comedy? Who thinks you can get on stage and still live off that? I was a king of comedy. You never hear me talking about it because in this business, like any other, it isn't what you have done, it's what you do. That show was one I signed on to do. I made the quintessential mistake, the horrible mistake that like Tyler Perry, like Lee Daniels, like Oprah, like all these people of saying yes to you. And it is an occupational hazard. It is my fault. I have learned my lesson. You didn't just, and the thing that bothers me the most, isn't the things that you said, because I know who I am and I know what I do. And I have a pristine reputation. And everybody who knows me know what I'm about. It's this whole, my dear, my babies, I love you for real, which is so transparently false, it is ridiculous. But the thing that was really the most annoying, the thing that was really the most bothersome, is after a terrible couple of weeks where people were being slain in Buffalo, where people were being slain, kids were getting slain in school, and people had come to a comedy show to get away from all of their problems, you besieged them with yours. The one contract that isn't in dispute is the one that the audience had with us to entertain them. But every single time, more and more, you spend half of your time talking about your grievances and what you didn't get and who did this to you. Listen, when you burn things up and you sit back to watch the results of them, she's literally set that stage on fire, said the most incendiary things ever, and I had to go on stage. And she has the temerity to call me a coward. A coward would have left. A coward would have said, I can't go. You didn't even want to go on when you had a contract that you knew not to be true. You made up this whole narrative that you knew not to be true, and you played that out in front of the audience. And then I had to go on behind you. And you know what you did? You sat back and you tried to watch your damage. You set the stage on fire and you watched what you've done. You know who does that? Arsonists do that. Arsonists set shit on fire and try to see the damage it drives. But I blame myself because I know now what I didn't before. Saying yes to you is an occupational hazard, one I will not repeat. I don't blame you. I wish you well. But when you do the things you do, when everything's about you, when you're vitriolic, when you have all these fights with all of these entities, it is you. Precious was not a movie. Precious was an autobiography. That is who you are, literally. You mad at the contract you and daddy wrote, your daddy? And I don't know why you call a man daddy and you pay for him. That's a son. Let's be clear. I am not angry with you. I'm angry with me. I did what I knew not to be true. But I'm going to tell you something. When you burn and you destroy and you wreck, you are not a queen of comedy. You're a queen of ashes. Now, while I'm going to go back to work and you get back to your kingdom of smoke.
I just felt like we had to listen to that without me talking through it, okay? Let's get through the whole thing without my commentary, okay? Now, look, I see the trolls are in the chat, honey. Let them be, okay? A view is a view. It's fine, okay? And everyone's opinion is valid, okay? It's just man matters the most because it's my channel. But again, look. Oh, Lord Jesus, okay? Whew. What should I say? Well, I don't know what this, right? It was second to best. I was like, oh my God. Y'all know, usually I always have time to watch and digress and take in what I'm going to post up here. I hadn't seen or heard that at all. I had seen nothing. Okay. And this is the part. Look, I'm going to give y'all an example. Not too much, but I'm going to give a little bit of an example. There have been many times that while being a YouTuber, I have wanted to scorch earth on a live, okay, for people who y'all may or may not know. And people had to talk me off the ledge saying, don't do that, because then it becomes messy and then people will remember you for that, okay? Folks have always asked, how does the panel, me, Jane, you, Bonnie, Nisi, how have we stayed out of the messy shit? Because we know to mind our business and not be out here on bullshit, okay? You have to know that when you are a person who has the ability to come on the live or do a show and bring tea to people, you have to pick and choose how you do it. Because how you do things lets people know who you are. Simba, show them who you are, okay? And so you have to know when not to scorch earth. And yet he called her a queen of ashes. A queen of ashes. And what's crazy is it's true. And that being true does not make Monique less worthy of having better. But what it seems like it means is she keep having the same reactions to her situations, and none of it has helped her garner any ground to be in a better situation than she was before she, got to where she is. You know what I'm saying? And I think people confuse the fact that we want her to win, but when she do shit that make her look foolish, or that make her look like she doing too much, or that make her look unprofessional, that people then want to get upset with the folks who are saying to her, hey, Monique, still stand your ground, but maybe do it in a different way. I said before, do you think any other comedian, actress, rapper, singer, CEO has not had people do them dirty? And they just chose to not come on a public platform, be that on YouTube, be that on TV, be that on an interview, be that on a stage at a comedy show, and air out a personal contractual dispute to the audience we're there for a show. You know what I'm saying? And because I know my temper, because I know how I have scorched earth before because of my temper. But I had to learn before I got on YouTube, you can't do that. That's also why sometimes now in the comment section, I'm not gonna fuss with y'all. Because if I start going off and cussing and fussing, I look like the crazy person cussing and fussing. So sometimes I have to curtail my anger at the bullshit some folks say to me. I have to curtail my aggression and want to cuss somebody out who's playing on my face. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn. That's a part of being a grown-up and also being of handling business. It's so much stuff that none of us know that anyone has went through. Be that someone as YouTubers, be that Monique as a comedian, be that Beyonce as a singer. Time and place. Please believe that Jamie, Bonnie, and Niecy has had to talk me off a ledge of not coming on here and saying, I hate all of you, but, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you do want to just go off. But you have to remember, no, and at the time. You pick and choose the time. And again, Monique had every right to be upset if what she thought she was getting, she didn't get, be mad at the promoters. But you went on stage and you went at DL, and as he said, you scorched, you set the stage on fire and then watched it burn like an arsonist. Working with you as an occupational hazard. Okay? You are the queen of ashes. I was like, the queen of ashes? Oh. Okay. Monique needs a new manager. Monique needs someone to allow her to simply be the talent that she is. To where she gets to an event, she's not concerned with the order. All of that is handled for her. You know what I'm saying? So that way, she's not even the one taking the shots when she's having to defend whatever, because she has a team surround her. Husband should protect her so much she never had to speak out. That's what should happen. That's her husband, who she said, she said DL is upset because I have a real king man in my life. That's cool. But your king man manager could not protect you from not being the headliner of the show. My lady, you know what I'm saying? I won't call her name. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy part. And and I said before, the promotion of the show consistently showed that she wasn't the headliner. So your husband, who's supposed to be your protector and supposed to be your manager, okay, did not protect you and showing you how the Fox Theater last month did not have you as a headliner. Your husband should protect you to where anything that come at you don't even hit you, because he got you. I think that's also the reason why DL felt like Monique should not have came as his wife. Because what his wife has to do with your contract situation. Or with me, by that matter. But your husband, who's your manager, that's who we can talk about. Okay? Again, this was 7 weeks ago. Comedy Explosion starring DL Hughley and Monique. His name was first. Monique, why didn't Daddy get any of that together? But y'all want to fuss about DL. And my thing has always been, let's cap for Monique for the right reasons and get at the right folk who she should be pissed at. Her manager, Daddy, her son per DL, and promotion. The promoters. Okay? Do y'all not, are you not entertained? Okay? That's who the issue should have been with. Again, Josh was the one who hosted the event. You see the promotion? Who bigger, DL or Monique? Who do you see? You see DL's big ass face and Monique's beautiful face and her beautifulness. Okay? Monique is gorgeous. Okay? However, at the Fox Theater, which again is not a small theater, it's huge. It's huge. You know, a month ago, when promoting the show, this is what it is. DL and Monique. His name is first. Okay? So that's why I'm like, we need to cap for Monique, absolutely, but let's make sure we're going at the right person. And this is the crazy thing. Monique now has created a situation where people are questioning why she keep having this situation happen to her. And not only that, now he has responded and made folk think about, like, damn, it is always somebody else besides Monique. Damn, she is asking for money based on a comedy special she did 20 years ago. Okay, damn, she did want Netflix to pay her $20 million based off a show she did a long time ago. And do not get me wrong, Monique is a legend. She is funny. She deserves to be paid what she should be paid. However, the issue that she should have is with her husband, okay? Now, if y'all don't get that, that's on y'all. That's on y'all. But she went on stage, did all that shit, knowing after she said all that about him, that he had to go on after her. And when he said, you did that, but called me a coward would have not went on stage after you said about me. She does have an Oscar. However, Oscars don't get you $20 million for a comedy show, because the Oscar she got wasn't for a comedy. It was for a very dramatic, movie. And we also know that Monique is a wonderful actress. So again, I think people are negating the fact that we're not saying that anyone, Monique is Monique is she doesn't deserve this or that. She does. She does. Not right. They wanted to deal to call the promoters on her behalf. Okay, child, no. Your husband should do that. Okay, your husband should do that. Daddy should have made sure that before, because the thing, Monique don't even live here. Before I flew into the D, I would need to see everything that shows I am the headliner. You think Beyonce gonna go perform at her concert if the first name is Rihanna? No, bitch, I'm Beyonce. Oscars have nothing to do with the comedy show. And again, I want to be sure y'all also are hearing me and saying no one wants her to not get her just due. No one wants her to not work. No one wants her to lose. I want Monique. So someone commented on my video before. Someone commented and said, "Oh, you just hating on Monique and not agree with Monique because y'all both plus." I said, how does that even make any sense? How does me and Monique both being plus size women mean that's the reason why I'm disagreeing with her? That's the stupid. And some folks just stupid. And sometimes you have to just let people be dumb. And if anyone don't get that, my whole point, because we can only speak about me, because y'all here with me. We having a conversation between me and y'all. Okay, this is a full-fledged conversation between me and y'all. And I want to make it clear I want Monique to win. I do not feel like, DL is the best person in life, and no. I find him funny, yes, but I also find Monique funny. I also find Kevin funny. I also find fucking Will. I like dry ass humor. I find Will Ferrell funny. Okay, I love fucking Will Ferrell. Okay, I love Vince Vaughn. Okay, I love whatever. So it's that thing that, and I feel like people don't get. You know what I'm saying? You can want Monique to win, and not want her to burn bridges that she can't rebuild. So all y'all, team Monique, and she's right, cool. But make sure that when she wrong, you can correct her wrongness so that she never has that issue again. If you don't learn from your mistakes, you're stupid. If you don't learn from, knowing that, maybe scorching earth every time ain't gonna help me, then you're a little bit dumb. A little bit dumb. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. And this is the thing. It's not even that Monique was wrong per se. It's that Monique just handled things in a way that makes her look foolish. Monique was wrong in who she put her anger towards. That's true. But Monique was not wrong in feeling like I had a contract for A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and that ain't what I got. And because she said, DL wanted to go on and wouldn't go on, if I couldn't go before him, he wanted to close the show. That's what Monique said. DL said she ain't never talked to me. We saw Lunell say sometime at the shows, the promoters will say stuff to make the acts feel some kind of way, and it don't even be from the actual person. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes people are surface level. Y'all know here on my channel, I like to give y'all all the information, have a conversation about it or whatever, so that everyone can get a full feel for what's going on. And it's easy, or it was easier for folks to feel Monique's side of things because the DL hadn't said shit. We seen her rant and people believed it because some folk don't like that man. And they don't have to. And when he then posted what he posted, she kept saying, well, that ain't this. Where's that? That ain't this. Where's that? That ain't, you know what I'm saying? It was that whole thing. And when DL said last night, or whatever there was, I got what I wanted from my contract, but you didn't get what you wanted from yours. So, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad at me because I got what my contract was said and you did not. So again, it was a lot of back and forth. So now hearing DL say, because Monique said we heard the night of the show. Truthfully, she gave her full explanation of what she said happened. And what he said was, she never talked to me and even came to have a conversation with me about her contract. Wait, I just think it's so funny. Wait. You give more information than Fox sold. Because I am very long-winded. Okay, I am very long-winded, whatever, and I like having conversations. So when y'all come here, it's gonna be a conversation the whole time. Because that's why I like doing watch along. Because it's easy to play a video and then, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, let's have a conversation the whole time. The more you know, the more you can learn. So I try to do that. Okay. That's what it is. Thank you, the mental fit chick. What color? I am wearing Fenty Beauty uncensored. What is that? So this is so every video, someone's out. They look. This is my lipstick, Fenty Beauty. Okay, is what it is. Because y'all always be asking what it is. It's the only one I wear. However, I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, I got back. DL in his video just posted his version of what happened. And once you've seen both, you've heard her point of view, you've heard his. By all means, make your own opinion on what you think it is. But anyone who's seen both and still feel like her anger towards him was valid, I think y'all may be a bit insane. Because her anger would have been more valid at the promoter than her husband. I like to have conversations. I love, look, even in life, some people in my life, full-fledged conversations. I'm a conversationalist. You know what I'm saying? I like having conversations because, who got time for anything else? Anyway, y'all, I'm going to end it here because I'm supposed to be live at like 8:45. I'm still doing my Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Marriage DC, and also put a ring on it tonight at 8:45. So that's in about 30 minutes. Tomorrow I'll be live for Basketball Wives and what do you call it? VH1's Couple Retreat. I was supposed to do all that today. Didn't happen because I'm like, ooh, Rickey Smiley said something. Ooh. So I'm like, I want to come and talk to y'all about this because even since it's a big topic. So my reviews, which I do regularly, okay, again, Love and Marriage Huntsville in DC and Put a Ring on It will be up. Well, I will be live for that in 30 minutes. And then tomorrow afternoon around 2:30, I will be up for Basketball Wives and VH1 Couple Retreats. But this right here, okay, was not only Rickey Smiley and Lunell speaking up, we also got to see DL, okay, speak up and give his 2 cents. Now, I'm pretty sure that because DL said his piece, Monique may come and, hey, my loves, sweethearts, I want to let y'all know that I love was for real, okay? And I saw what Brother DL put on his channel, okay? And I want to come to y'all to give y'all what really happened, okay? And I know she may do that. And this, but believe me, if Monique come and she replied, guess what I'm gonna do? We're gonna come and have a conversation about it together. Okay, together. Jay, did you see somebody review Wanda's Food? I did. I'm going to do a separate short video probably tomorrow because I DM Stormy to make sure that was a real thing. Because Stormy always posts on her IG when I did not see it there. I'm like, well, damn, I don't want to say it if she didn't say it because it came from a Facebook group. So I first asked her, was it her? She replied to me, and I'm going to have what she said to me and also, what she said. So that'll be up sometime tomorrow as well. Or I may do it, I may do it in my review tonight. So maybe so. But yeah, I did see that. So I may do that on the video tonight, in 30 minutes, okay? Not my lipstick lives. Thank you. Okay. Yes, this is uncensored. I do not know. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, so we shall see. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have a short break between this and my next one at 8:45, and then tomorrow we have something else because I have been busy. Okay. I love all the new subscribers I have. Okay. And we have a good time. Okay. So until next time, y'all, make sure to have a good time. Come on back around here. At 8:45, okay, to have a conversation about love and marriage, put a ring on it, DC, all of that. Thank you, Random World, for the super sticker. Okay, for the thank you. Okay, I like your chat room. Everyone is cool. Look, my page is really love, like, and positivity. Okay, and I'll be hoping that my thank you, Felicia Crooks for the Cash App. I be wanting my chat, the chat to be like as, cool as we can have it. Just so that no one feels, because my thing is this, no matter what your opinion is, even if it differs from mine, that is still your valid opinion. So I don't shush folks or whatever. I don't do that. Okay. So the comment section, we try to keep it really, really adult, respectful, love and good vibes or whatever. And that's it. Okay. But again, I will be back at 8:45 tonight because I'm on Eastern time. So again, it's in about 30 minutes to review these shows. I know I don't have to put a ring on it thing up there, but again, y'all know what it is. And that will be a whole good key. So come on back around here, okay, to have that conversation. But other than that, I love you all. Peace, love, have a great day. Stay safe. Okay, love your loved ones because we don't know what's going on around this world. But see y'all later. Love you all. Peace.